Bitcoin's hash rate remains stronger than ever in the face of crypto winter prices and sky-high difficulty despite the fact that Bitcoin miners are getting bare minimums in profits per petahash per second (PHS), and the myriad of headlines showing specific mining operations folding from the crypto winter. The network's total hash rate continues to chug along at close to 300 exahash per second (AS). With lower Bitcoin prices and the mining difficulty at an all-time high, the current trends have not pushed Bitcoin miners back in the least. Meanwhile, the next difficulty retarget scheduled to occur on or around October 23 shows another increase will take place. Current block times on Friday are less than the 10-minute average as well, as a few data points show the current block times today have been between 8:30 minutes to 9:35 minutes. Usually, when the 2016 blocks are found faster than the 10-minute average, the retarget date is less than 2 weeks. When this trend occurs, the blockchain network's mining difficulty will increase in order to make it tougher for miners to find a BTC block. Satoshi created the system this way, so block times would stay within a...
Well, there's a new report from the experts at Stansberry Research you may want to check out. It's called Will You Get Left Behind, and walks you through what is actually happening right now in America. You'll learn all about the #1 investment you need to make today to make sure you don't fall behind. Barron's reports this incredible asset has already created an estimated 20,000 new millionaires and perhaps 10 times that number. I guarantee this new report will force you to think about what is happening in America in a very different way, and you could make a ton of money too. So to get your free copy of this new report, go to www.leftbehindreport.com. Again, that's leftbehindreport.com for your free copy of this report. Hi, this is Daniela Cambone, and welcome back to Stansberry Research. Our Outlook 2022 continues with the person you couldn't wait to hear from. So please welcome back to the show, the host of the Kaiser Report, and of course, one of the most recognizable faces on the planet when it comes to the topic of Bitcoin. Max Kaiser, welcome back to the show here.
Hey, Daniela, great to be with you.
And I just want to say, just for you, Max, I came dressed for the occasion, wearing my Max It Up t-shirt. That's how excited I am for this interview. How's your new year going so far?
It's great. You know, we are seeking citizenship in El Salvador to become a citizen of the first country in the world to make Bitcoin legal tender. And it's really the most exciting thing to happen in Bitcoin since, I guess 2009 when Bitcoin started. And we're also helping in the project of volcano bonds. So the country is going to raise $1 billion on volcano bonds. And I think we can get that number up toward the $20 billion level. My goal is to make this country debt-free. So this is some of the excitement that's going on, thanks to the President Bukele, who made Bitcoin legal tender.
Yes, and that, as we know, was historic news when that came out. I want to talk to you about that. Obviously, a lot of excitement about your return on this show, because last year you came on my show and you gave your famous outlook for 2021. Max Kaiser's 2021 Bitcoin forecast. You're hearing it for the first time here, folks.
I'm going with $220,000 per Bitcoin.
That, of course, made worldwide headlines, 220,000. We will talk about that, of course, but we do want to talk El Salvador. We want to talk about what's happening right now in Bitcoin. And of course, I will also reveal my Bitcoin forecast that I wrote down with Max. Good. I also have a forecast for Bitcoin.
Okay.
I'm not going to say it. I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper, fold it, and put it into this desk that you don't see in the shot. Who came closer to their target? Do we have a wager on that?
Yeah, I think we wagered a cup of coffee.
Well, stay tuned to the end to find out, folks. All right. First, let's start with the price, Max. Okay, this is #1 question, so let's just clear the air here. And I always say it's extremely difficult to come on a show and make forecasts. You were calling for, Bitcoin over 220,000 by November. You said you use proprietary information when you come to these calculations. I've now seen that you've moved that target. So let's talk about, first of all, let's talk about what you think went wrong with what was a huge miss on forecast here, because we're now at a 3-month low. As we're taping this now, Bitcoin's hovering around 42,000.
Right. So, well, as you know, we first started covering Bitcoin in 2011 when it was $1. And at that time, I was forecasting $100,000 per Bitcoin based on its ability to grab a significant portion of the global Forex market and to compete with gold. Now, as far as 2021 goes, I said, hey, we're going to get to 220,000 per coin, which is a typical 4-year cycle. What we had in 2021 was that massive China collapse in mining and hash power. So the mining and the hash power collapsed 50%. We have since recovered that now, and we're about to hit new all-time high in hash rate. And so that's why I'm pushing my $220,000 target from 2021 to 2022. So there's really a couple of numbers to keep in mind. There's price, there's hash rate, and there's the difficulty adjustment. Those are the three things you have to keep in mind. I've always said that price lags hash rate, that hash rate precedes price. And so we're going to see new all-time highs in the hash rate and followed by new all-time highs in Bitcoin price. The underlying fundamentals have only gotten stronger. The fiat money world is crumbling. Inflation is out of control. The Bitcoin network is getting stronger. If you look at the on-chain analysis, that is to say, the people who are actually doing transactions, not derivatives, but on the actual Bitcoin blockchain, we see an increase in the holdings of Bitcoin. The recent price action is driven mostly by derivatives. So the same kind of price discovery you see in the gold market that's kept gold now flat for 10 years and hasn't really budged at all. You start to see some of the derivatives have an influence on the price discovery in Bitcoin. Ultimately, it doesn't matter because the demand for Bitcoin is virtually infinite because fiat money is, as it always does, it's going to go to zero. All fiat money goes to zero, US dollar as well. And Bitcoin is now, if you listen to guys like Bill Miller or Paul Tudor Jones or any of the other major hedge funds out there, they're now openly saying that Bitcoin competes with gold. It's going to get a market share of gold. Gold's market share is about $8, $9, $10 trillion. Bitcoin is going to eclipse that market cap at some point. So all the fundamentals are very strong. So I'm just bumping my $220,000 target from 2021 to 2022. I've been doing well for the past 10 years since I first recommended Bitcoin at $1. So nobody's really complaining.
No, and I do want to point that out that 2021 was a miss, but you have accurately called Bitcoin's price in the past. Now, few things I want to point out with what you've said. One, I feel that there was a lot of exuberance and excitement surrounding the Bitcoin price last year, but this year the bears are out in full force. Yeah, you named some names, but a lot of the experts have been coming on, like Gareth Soloway or Novogratz also, are saying that we could see a crypto winter here. Soloway comparing the moment that we're seeing him here in Bitcoin to a .com moment. Now he's bullish long term, and yes, he's just one